Hey Oklahomans, thanks for watching these videos over the last few days. If you've enjoyed or gotten some good information about tax problems from any of these, be sure and log on to traviswatkinsbook.com to get my free book there downloaded. I think you'll really enjoy it and get some more use out of this type of content if you have an IRS problem and need to get that thing solved. I'm sitting out in the parking lot of my building. It's about 10:45. I just got back from my son's academic bowl team competition this morning. Kind of funny story. I got semi thrown out of this deal for videotaping my son answering some academic bowl questions. Angry mom was upset because I guess she thought I might try to profit later from maybe having a little Albert Einstein there in his his first academic bowl recorded there on film, and I might try to sell that, I guess, to the Discovery Channel or something later down the road. But I erased the video, and anyway, I wanted to chat with you here about some stuff that had been going on yesterday that I thought you might benefit from here. I talk all the time about how, you know, you need to, if you think that you might have an IRS problem, and I know that comes as a strange concept to a lot of people that pay their taxes and know exactly what's going on and rush to get their returns filed every year because they've got a refund. But it does, you know, happen quite a bit that taxpayers, you know, go to buy a home and they're shocked to find out that they've got a bunch of IRS liens, or they're selling their home and they find out that they've got a bunch of IRS liens. That's another common deal. And when those folks come to me, those taxpayers come to us, you know, we really have our hands kind of tied there. You know, if you want to try to get your tax problem, you know, solved in the next 30 days, let me just tell you, I mean, IRS offers and compromise, for instance, take like 6 months. At least for them to pick up the file and start arguing with us about it. And if you're staring down the barrel of trying to close on a house and try to get a deal at the same time from the IRS, let me just tell you, I mean, they've got so much leverage in that situation, it's virtually impossible to get some type of really great deal on that. But what kind of drives that deal home here is something that happened yesterday. I had a very good client of ours that we've helped out years ago, and he had a really difficult tax problem, a payroll tax problem, that those types of problems end up a lot of times coming down back on the business owner, and that's what happened to him and his wife. But long story short, we got them into a great deal with the IRS, saved them a bunch of money. And that's great and wonderful. And when that was all said and done, we went and got the IRS tax liens taken off. He had some state tax problems also that we got fixed there, kind of as an ancillary at the same time to fixing the IRS problem through offer and compromise. So the IRS has to remove those liens that are on you within 30 days, or they've got to face the music. They have to pay like triple the damages if there are any damages. So they don't like to do that, and they end up doing what they're supposed to do, which is to remove those tax liens, and that's exactly what they did do. But you know, it's been years since that all went down. But my former client called in a panic because he's trying to buy a home, and they ran his credit, and he's already got a contract on it and everything. It's their dream home. I mean, they're doing great now after they got their offer and compromise, which is just wonderful. But he was panicked because the credit report that came back showed some tax liens, it showed some state tax warrants or liens here also, And he was like, man, I've got to get this thing taken off. I've got to figure out what's going on. And he was very pleasant and accommodating with us, but he did think that, hey, did you guys get those liens knocked off or what? I thought we went through that whole problem there, and got these things all taken off. And I told him not to worry. We need to check this thing out, send me that credit report, which he did. And we looked at the credit report, and lo and behold, yeah, they had a bunch of stuff wrong. I don't know where they get this information sometimes, but it sure ain't accurate. I wish I could show you the thing, because unfortunately it has a bunch of identifiers on it, but they really messed this thing up at wherever they pull this thing from. I'm assuming the big three credit reporting agencies on tax liens and things like that. They just do a horrible job. It's got like some case number that's from Neptune or something that has no bearing on anything. But I was able to get this thing and start making some calls to the IRS, who are now open, which is great, and the Oklahoma Tax Commission in this case, and got it all sorted out. And it was exactly what we thought, that everything had been timely released by the IRS, and we pulled all the releases that had been filed that didn't get picked up, and some of them did get picked up in the credit reporting process, but several of them did not. And then we wrote a little narrative there for the lender to explain what happened, and attach the lien releases to it. And at the end of the day, I think it's all going to play out really just fine for them. All the explanations are all valid and legal, and there is no currently existing tax problem or anything like that. Now, that process is not like an expungement where it all goes away, but it does show, it should be showing, but it didn't on the credit report, that these things had been released. And this is all to say that, when you've taken action and gotten an offer in compromise, got your tax problem figured out, and you or your tax professional has gone in there and gotten the liens released, then things are a heck of a lot better. And this was kind of a pain in the rear for him, but certainly it's something that can be dealt with, as opposed to when you go to the closing table, or you go through the whole process of finding a home or trying to sell a home, only to find out that the IRS has got a tax lien against you. Your options are very limited there. It's really comes down to pay them in full from the proceeds, if that will satisfy the tax problem, or try to get the lien subordinated, in other words, pushed down, so that you can either borrow against it, or let a sale go through, and they'll get some portion of that. In other words, your options are extremely limited when you don't take action beforehand. And as I mentioned, the time that it takes the IRS to move on something like this is just not really feasible if you're trying to buy or sell quickly. So what this all means to you as an Oklahoma taxpayer is that if you suspect that you might have a tax problem, in other words, you may not have filed for some period of time, then you really need to consider getting that master tax file from the IRS that we've talked about so much here on these videos, or talk to a tax professional who can get those things for you, and start the never short process of getting some type of tax relief before you run headlong into a real estate deal that's going to end up, giving you no leverage if the IRS has filed a lien on your tax problem. So get started now on it. Take action now if you suspect that you might be buying or selling property, you know, in the very near future. I'd say within the next 12 to 18 months. All right. All right. Again, these types of things and more are outlined in my book that you can get a free download of at traviswatkinsbook.com. Or if you need immediate assistance from a tax professional, we'd love to talk with you to try to help you out. Even if you do have a lien and you're pushing up against the clock, give us a call, 1-800-721-7054. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.